to bring in Pierre-Henri Chouette. He is a former fighter pilot and aviation consultant. Pierre-Henri, appreciate you sticking around and joining us here on CTV News Channel. I know you were listening in there to Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister, Philippe François Champagne. He was asked a number of questions here, and one of the questions that he was asked is his concern about the crash site being cleared and getting access, full-on access to participate in this investigation.
Absolutely, yes. It's a very, very good point. When you usually have a crash like that, nothing moves on the crash site, enabling all the team and all the countries to join in and be able to see exactly what happened. Looks like it's not going to be the case in Iran this year. So basically, I think the Canadian investigators are getting ready right now, preparing all the data that they can, gathering as much information as they can. But they're going to have to rely on some of the work that has been done by the 45 local investigators for sure.
What are they going to be looking at once they're able to get themselves on the ground? Of course, we know what's really important. They will, I understand, be going to the crash site, but they're also going to be looking at parts of the plane to see where that damage is. And we were speaking to an aviation expert in the previous hour there that was talking about sort of some of the damage that said to him clearly looked like there was damage coming from outside of the plane, so you could see damage going into the plane versus the other way around, which could potentially mean an engine issue.
Absolutely. So basically what you have to understand is we're going to be looking for debris or damages. If it's coming from the engine, it's going to be around the engine blast area. If it's coming from a third source, maybe a missile, and people are talking about SA-15, then it's going to be 15 kilograms of basically explosive exploding about 10 feet away from the aircraft. So you might see a place where you're going to see shrapnels in the aircraft, and you're going to be able to identify it. But furthermore, you can actually find, if it's coming from the outside, a source of other materials that are not supposed to be around the aircraft, or stuff like that.
How does this compare to the Malaysia Airlines crash?
So what you have to understand is the Malaysian aircraft crash came from an SA-11. That's what we think right now. So it's basically a 700-kilogram missile carrying 70 kilograms of warhead. So the damage inflicted by that type of missiles are huge. What we're looking at right now might be maybe something different. So if it's coming from the engine, it's not going to be the same type of investigation. But if it's indeed coming from what we call point defense surface-to-air missiles, it's going to be smaller impacts, and the impacts and the work is going to be slightly different because the damage on the airframe might not be as massive. So it might not be as obvious as on the MH17.
What about access to the voice recorder as well as the black boxes? What are they going to be looking for there if they're able to get access to that?
So basically, they're going to be looking for all the flight details. You can see the black box as basically something gathering all the big data on the aircraft. They might try to send to the crew as well. Did the crew react? What did they say? It looks like they're trying to turn around. Was it intentionally? Was there still flying the aircraft? Did they see a missile coming? Stuff like that. But I think they're also going to be basically stepping back a little bit and focusing on the entire environment. So how well did the sleep? Did the crew rest? Were they indeed military troops in the area? Did anyone basically intercepted any communication between military personnel, or was any other pilot airborne witnessing something? Maybe you had a former fighter pilot in another aircraft, he saw a missile coming up. So those stuff really people look at from the cockpit. So there might be interviewing other pilots as well.
Yeah, so many details to be looking at. And of course, as we heard there from our Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister, getting in there, getting access is what's most crucial now, as time, as we know, is of the essence. Pierre-Henri Chouette, really appreciate your expertise on this. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.